Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Builds, and today we're dealing with the 2015 Honda Ridgeline Baja Trophy Truck. Now this has 1,281 horsepower, 788 pounds-feet of torque from its 5.4 litre twin turbocharged V10 engine. The car itself now weighs 4,437 pounds. Already came with off-road tyres and off-road suspension, but it now has all-wheel drive to go along with it, and it can now do 0 to 16 2.566 seconds and 0 to 105.293 seconds, and go to a top speed of 209 miles an hour. So unfortunately we couldn't even upgrade the tyres and the off-road suspension fully, purely in terms of the off-road tyres because they were already off-road, but we could widen them a little bit. But the suspension is completely stock and it is quite soft, and it's certainly not meant for this level of power or this level of acceleration and speed either, so that's purely why the handling is not as good as a vehicle of this type should be. But the rest of the stats are pretty good. The speed and the acceleration and the off-road capability are excellent. The braking is pretty good, but although obviously it's quite a heavy vehicle, so we're going to have a lot of momentum, so hopefully those brakes will do. Launch isn't the best, but that's not really a big issue with a series like this where most of it's not to deal with launch at all. So yeah, not sure how it's going to handle this course. Most vehicles of this type haven't done particularly well. Surprisingly, vehicles that are meant for going off-road on, in off-road conditions are not the best on this series, weirdly enough. The top 10 is pretty much dominated by cars that are normal road cars, so yeah, let's see what this can do. Now this engine is from the Lexus LFA, if you didn't know. That's why it's an incredibly loud, incredibly high revving engine, but at the end of the day it's more than twice the power that we had in this originally. It's had 550 horsepower, which is not a small amount by any means for a vehicle of this type, but yeah, we're definitely more than doubled that. Got the torquiest engine ever, which might not help in terms of the amount of weight that we've got to deal with on this, but it's a very responsive engine. It's not a lazy engine at all. The power is pretty much always there. A big concern is just that suspension, given how it's quite soft, and I have accidentally rolled this over while just driving it normally, so yeah, a little bit of an issue, but hopefully it won't be. Handle this jump fine, yep. So yeah, this is easily one of the heavier vehicles that we've got on this series. Again, purely because I couldn't actually upgrade the, decrease the weight by a massive amount. And at the end of the day I have somewhat added weight in the form of the all-wheel drive system, so yeah, it's still quite a heavy beast. Now that will help in terms of getting through any road furniture or anything like that, but obviously it will restrict the amount of power and torque that we can actually use. To be honest, it feels a little bit on the agile side, quite frankly, so it's not as cumbersome as you might expect for a vehicle of this size and weight. It's pretty insane to be hearing this kind of engine though in a vehicle like this. It is an engine that is helping because we're getting up to some really good rates of speed. Those brakes are doing pretty well as well. a little bit bogged down in that corner there, but with a time of 3 minutes 24.463, we've definitely done better than some vehicles that are meant for going off-road, but at the end of the day we are far slower than plenty of cars that aren't meant for going off-road, certainly not at speed. And yeah, just to put it like in context, that's a time there. The Toyota Sports 800, which is obviously a tiny sports car from the 60s, managed 3 minutes 20.242, so more than 4 seconds quicker than us. And yeah, we are quite the way down on the leaderboard overall. Yeah, coming behind the Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro, which is obviously a more, you know, publicly available off-roader. Certainly not as, you know, meant for off-road as this is. But we are quicker than the GMC Jimmy, as well as the Subaru Legacy RS, the Mazda 323 GTR, the Porsche 911 Desert Flyer, which again is another vehicle meant for going off-road. So we're at least nearly 4 seconds quicker than that, as well as the Land Rover Defender 110X, sorry, the Ford Bronco, Toyota Land Cruiser AT37, Sierra Cars RX3, and the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. So yeah, faster than some off-road competition that is pretty serious, but considering the amount of power this has got and the huge amount of off-road capability it's got, to be as far behind as over plenty of other, you know, off-road vehicles, you know, that are a bit more in the standard variety and, you know, standard road cars is pretty underwhelming, to be honest. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is our first Honda on this series. Yes, it is. So yeah, it's putting a good showing for Honda for their first outing, but I guarantee there's a road car out there that they've done that can do a quicker time than that, because yeah, at the end of the day, it is quite a heavy vehicle, and that, you know, somewhat hindered its progress, while the suspension being stock was also a bit unnerving, as it was lifting up one or two of its front wheels at times, and yeah, was certainly not giving me the best of confidence in it being able to, you know, stay on the ground and not roll over. So yeah, but on the whole, a fun vehicle, and one that has been added into the game via the festival playlist. You only have to get 20 points to get it, so it's well worth getting because it is a fun vehicle in stock form, and you can do plenty of different upgrades with it, as there's several variety of engines to choose from. So yeah, but nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you with the next one. Bye.